Coach, it has been 737 minutes and 8 seconds of match time since this team has given up a goal, 8 straight shutouts. How do you put to words what this team is doing defensively right now?
The adage of, defense wins championships. We're playing really good, organized defense right now, and it's showing.
It was cool. I mean, a lot of people came up and just said, great atmosphere, great course. Obviously if it runs fast, it's going to be people are going to be happy. Our admin team and physical plan did a really good job making sure we were prepared.
New team, new staff, and same as us. But yeah, we're excited, and but what better way to start than a sold-out crowd at Iowa? So it'll be a blast.
These guys are going to have to be ready to go. They're not going to have 2 or 3 dress rehearsals. They only had 1, and they got to be ready to go this weekend.
And then they just, were efficient. I thought we played good volleyball and didn't make a ton of just bad mistakes. Like all of our mistakes were pretty aggressive and, pretty relative.
We never really talk about an 11-game season. We talk about a 1-game season. Yeah. I mean, this is the next game on the schedule, and we're going to find a way to win the next game. And
you're listening to the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill in St. Joseph, Missouri. It's our live weekly chat with Missouri Western coaches and athletes. Here's your host for the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, Tommy Rezach.
And good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome into Hi-Ho Bar and Grill and the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast on a Monday, October the 28th. Halloween week here, as we're glad you're with us here on the Griffon Sports Network, the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, streaming live on the Varsity Network app, gogriffons.com/listen, and also podcasted to watch on YouTube on the Griffon Sports Insider channel. However you're watching or listening, we're glad you're with us today, as it's, we're getting into what I'd like to call silly season, overlap season. We've got fall sports still very much going on, and then our winter sports, basketball, going to get their seasons started here this weekend. The women starting unofficially with an exhibition at the University of Iowa, and then, of course, the men officially tipping things off at the D2 CCA Classic in Canyon, Texas, November 1st and 3rd. The Griffon men will take on Lubbock Christian Friday at 1:30, and then St. Cloud State on Sunday at 1:30. So Friday and Sunday, both 1:30 Central tip times there from West Texas A&M University. That's the institution that's hosting that event. So very excited. We'll be joined by both of our basketball coaches, Ashton Feldhaus, Will Martin, along with a couple of basketball athletes joining us today. So we've talked some basketball already. We had MIAA Media Day. We've been counting down the days, and the week is finally here that we'll be playing some basketball. But how about the things that fall sports have been doing, especially over the last week or so? Again, going in no particular order, starting with volleyball, 18-4, finally ranked. Rank them higher, number 24 in the latest coaches poll. And another week of wins, 2 sweeps, one at William Jewell last Tuesday night, which was the final non-conference match. And then how nice was that on Saturday afternoon, getting a sweep over rival Northwest Missouri State after the Cats kind of took one from us in Maryville October the 8th. A huge victory anytime you beat Northwest, a program that's had a lot of success. And now the win streak is 6 in a row for Griffon volleyball. 18-4 overall, 8-2 in the league. But the thing with volleyball and lots of our sports this week, a lot of teams going on the road. Volleyball's back on the road facing Washburn. Big match there Wednesday at 6:30. And then Halloween night, volleyball will visit Emporia State Thursday, 5:30 Central for that start time there. Missouri Western Soccer, they're ranked too. Probably should be higher. Hopefully that is the case this week. But 20th ranked and unbeaten. Yes, still unbeaten. Missouri Western Soccer now 14-0-2, 9-0-1 in the MIAA. Couple of shutout wins. That's been the flavor of the day, hasn't it? 8 straight shutouts for Griffon Soccer. 1-0 against Pitt State. 1-0 against Missouri Southern. Played Pitt on Friday, played Southern Sunday. It was senior day for 6 terrific seniors on a glorious day for soccer at Spratt Stadium. So great stuff there by soccer once again. And this is it for the regular season for soccer. It's certainly lots of book to be written in 2024 for this team, but 2 matches left at regular season, both on the road, and lots at stake, let's be honest. At Emporia State Friday afternoon at 3, and then at 15th ranked Washburn on Sunday at 1. Now that Washburn match of particular interest, if you're watching the MIAA standings, entering Sunday, Washburn and Western were the only two programs with an unbeaten conference record. Well, now Missouri Western stands alone in that category because Washburn lost to Fort Hays State yesterday 1-0. So Washburn is 7-1-1 in the conference entering the week. So that could very well be a thing where all Missouri Western might, if they beat Emporia, all they'd have to do is tie Washburn to seal up a regular season MIAA championship. So very, very exciting. Of course, it's hard not to look ahead because, the MIAA tournament will start for soccer in early November. The top seeds in that tournament are hosting. Of course, we'll know more about regional rankings and things coming out soon, but can't look ahead yet. Two really big matches in the state of Kansas on the Kansas Turnpike coming up this weekend. Emporia Friday, Washburn on Sunday. Missouri Western football had the week off from competition this past Saturday and entering this week at 3-5, hosting now Central Oklahoma, a UCO team that was number 9 in the country. They were undefeated entering the weekend. No longer. UCO. There are no more unbeatens left in the MIAA. Emporia, Pitt, UCO in a virtual tie atop the league standings. Central Oklahoma lost to Pittsburgh State on Saturday in Edmond, 35-21. So it'll be Central Oklahoma coming in for the Rogers Pharmacy Hall of Fame game. It is Hall of Fame week on our campus. Very exciting there with the 2024 Missouri Western Athletics Hall of Fame class being officially enshrined this Friday, 5:30 Central at the Fulkerson Center on the Missouri Western campus. So we look forward to welcoming all of our Hall of Famers back, and Missouri Western will kick off against Central Oklahoma this Saturday at 2 o'clock with the pregame show at 1 right here on the Griffon Sports Network. Missouri Western Cross Country, what a historic weekend for them. Not only hosting the MIAA Cross Country Championships, but the men's program setting some history as Pau Valderrama led the team, finishing 9th with a time of 24 minutes, 12.1 seconds. The program's first all MIAA honor, so give that up for Pau Valderrama. And Wimach Gilo, all-conference honorable mention, 19th place with a PR of 24 minutes, 25.3 seconds. Wimach, along with Coach Cody Ingold, will join us on the program today as well. So there you have it. That's what's going on. And I should mention that our week has already begun in competition. Missouri Western women's golf is off to a terrific start at the Tulsa Cup in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. In fact, on the individual leaderboard, Missouri Western's Ines Vandele is a stroke off the lead, tied for second at 3 under par through 13 holes in the first round. And on the team leaderboard, Missouri Western's 4th at 9 over par, only 10 shots back. They're only 1 stroke off of 3rd. So Missouri Western women's golf, they've had some challenging tournaments this fall, so that could be a solid finish for them to wrap up the fall. That's the last fall golf meet for all Griffons this week. So best of luck to the women as they compete today and tomorrow in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So there you go. Yeah, that's the slate. It's a busy one. We on the 3rd floor, we're working hard. I promise you that. But we're having fun, and we can't wait to continue to tell the story of this season and what's all to come this week. As I'll be traveling with women's basketball to Iowa, and I'll also be traveling. You'll hear those men's basketball games in Texas on the Griffon Sports Network. I'll be down there providing play-by-play. Kyle Schmidt will take my seat for football on Saturday. Kyle's been doing color. He's been my analyst this year. So Kyle will take the reins with Chris Roush for football on Saturday at 2. Just a little programming note for you there. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll lead things off with cross country with all-conference runner Wimach Gilo and head coach Cody Ingold, getting used to hosting big meets by now. Hosted the Griffon Invite and now the MIAA Championships here in October. What's next? Regionals for cross country. So we talk about that next. It's the GSI Podcast live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffon Sports Network. Back in 1 minute. We continue from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. A pretty good crowd filing in here on a Monday as it's the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach, leading off with Missouri Western Cross Country, fresh off of competition in the MIAA Men's and Women's Championships hosted right here in St. Joseph at the MWSU Cross Country course. Beautiful morning, great crowd, great competition. The Missouri Western men's team finishing 7th out of 12 teams. The women finishing 10 out of 13. Of course, on the men's side, 2 top 20 finishers, meaning 2 all-conference runners. Pau Valderrama finishing 9th, and Wimach Gilo, a senior from Council Bluffs, Iowa, second-year Griffon. He finished 19th with a personal best of 24 minutes, 25.3 seconds, 6 PRs on the men's side. Coach, starting with you, and Wimach, I'll get your thoughts, but I know you always said that the course ran fast, and you felt like, for the most part, your men held their own against a really stacked field there.
Yeah, we did our job in that sense, right? Got
Right.
the course. And if you go out there, you look at it, you're just like, there's no way this runs fast. And we must tell you the same thing. Even when you're working on and doing workouts out there, you just don't understand how. The level of competition obviously helps, but yeah, I mean, you said it, 6 PRs it's huge. It's just 12 points is the difference between 7th and 4th, and that's where we came in with a team goal, and we fell a little bit short there. So energy out there was great. Guys showed up. It's just unfortunate to be on the wrong side of it sometimes.
Yeah, understandable. Wimach, in that same vein, you guys had some good individual performances out there. Every course, right, has its challenges, its own twists and turns. What's kind of the benefit of competing on the course that you've been training on, and just kind of what was your mentality? How were you feeling entering the day on Saturday?
I think just knowing early on in the season, Coach Ingold obviously put us out there because we knew come late October that we'd be out there and this is our home course. We get all the reps that we can on there. And I know one thing that we worked on vitally was just the finish. I remember even running our invite there 2 weeks before that finish. I'm like, during practice, why are we doing this, Mm-hmm. But I remember just during the invite and even just running at a conference, like, this is why we work so hard. And obviously that finish, that's what matters when we run.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, a couple of top 20 finishes, 2 all-conference runners for the Missouri Western men's team, a team that, again, had cracked the Central Region rankings, and we'll talk about what's next, and that is the regional meet on November the 9th. But let's talk about the women's side, a 10th place finish in a 6K race, the first time this year that the women had run that distance. 29 points tallied there, 4 PRs. Lillian Cutler, 37th, with a time of 23 minutes, 9 seconds. And, Cody, I think you remarked to Brandon afterwards that, it's tough not having Maddie and Abby out there. But overall, how do you feel like the women handled, given what they were dealt?
I think we were a little bit scared of the competition, and because it was a 6K, we didn't. It shouldn't. It's an extra 1,000 meters. We do plenty of work to do it. It's
right
on our home course. We've done it. Just being confident, and that starts with me being a better leader and making sure that they're confident in their ability to finish. I thought I did a good job of getting them prepared, and maybe we just needed to run a 6K beforehand. It's just we're really, really young, and we talked as a team, and that was the decision we made together, that let's just hammer out some 5Ks, lower our 5K PRs, and be ready to run a good 6K. And we had 2 or 3 PRs, and Lillian, it wasn't a PR for Lillian, but it was pretty fast. Her PR comes from, I think, Gans. So our course runs really, really fast for the men. It's not as fast for the women for some reason. So I got to figure that out. But it was, it still held its own for most courses in the country. It just, I thought a lot of girls probably PR'd through 5K. It's just that extra K is the hardest K of the course. So that last K is, and we struggled a little bit there, and we just didn't put ourselves in a good position early, and that just comes from me setting them up better, essentially. So, a year from now, the conversations will be way different, and we'll have, they'll have that experience, and we've gone through the lull and the low parts, and 3 points from 8th with that team it's crazy, because that's just passing one person, or 2 people essentially. So, hopefully we'll battle back and be ready either come track season or regional. So
right. And on a positive note, we talk so much, highly anticipated, not only hosting the Griffon Invite, but getting to host the conference championships. One thing to talk about and prep for, but when you see, the officials and the other coaches and the competitors and the spectators, what does it mean for this still kind of, growing, budding program to kind of have that moment to be on the map in the eyes of the whole league?
It was cool. I mean, a lot of people came up and just said, great atmosphere, great course. Obviously if it runs fast, it's going to be, people are going to be happy. Our admin team and physical plant did a really good job making sure we were prepared. We met, in my head, way too much, but for obvious reasons. And it actually, we would always hammer the little things that we'd forget about. And by the time we got there, I didn't even do anything till Friday. We were that prepared for it. So, and I wanted to wait till it rained. But we didn't do anything till Friday, and everything moved really, really smoothly. Football came out and helped do some marshaling too, so that was huge. I had a lot of compliments from parents and coaches, so it did its job. Good thing it's going to help grow the invite, so we can have home meets and respectable home meets, and and help grow the program.
Yeah. Wimach, over to you. You had some momentum, I think, entering this cross-country season, a couple of top 10 finishes at MIAA Outdoor in a 3,000 and 5,000 meter competition. You get a PR in a 6K at the Platte River Rumble to open the year. You got a top 20 in the Griffon Invite, finishing 16th in that race there. Just for yourself and for this team, as you look ahead to regionals and things like that, as you kind of look back on this season and get ready for the track season, just I don't know, what's the level of satisfaction and how hard is this group still working to improve every day?
Every day we show up and we just compete. I think one of the biggest things that we can do better on, and we, throughout the season that we have been doing better on, is just believing within ourselves and our teammates. Just showing up every day and knowing that not every day is going to be an easy day, but we're going to get something out of it. It's vital. And then obviously for me individually, just like you said, my track record, every day that I do compete better, it's just like adding like 5 cents to my jar, and I know that like something's going to happen each meet.
Yeah.
I'm just getting better and better, and not just me, but also my teammates. So yeah.
Good analogy there, I think. Well, Cody, regionals in Joplin a week from Saturday. What's kind of the order of operations between now and then?
Start the redemption tour. We gotta. We'll probably drop out of the regional rankings, which is fine. That's why we race, right? So you gotta show up at regionals ready to run, and try to place as high as we can. I still think we have a team that's capable of being top 5, definitely top 10, which will be way better than we've ever been. It's just we got to put 7 guys in the right mindset and show up, and I got to make sure I pick the right 7 too, that are gonna give me what they have and bring the energy and bring the right mindset and show up. So.
And then how many women will run in regionals?
We're still talking about that. We probably won't run a team. We'll bring some people for experience, but outside that, we're all meeting throughout the week to kind of discuss what that looks like. So
yeah, well, that's a course that a lot of your athletes have run on there in Joplin. We were there 2-3 times in a season last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, we have. This is the first time we haven't been to Moso, and we went every year I think since we started the program. So it's fine.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Well, regionals do come up for the Central Region races coming up Saturday, November 9th in Joplin, and Missouri Western a couple of weeks to put together a game plan as they get ready to race again in the postseason. Coming off of the MIAA championships at Missouri Western, hats off to all of the staff and personnel here at Missouri Western that worked to make that thing such a success. Cody, Wimach, thanks for the time, and we'll talk to you down the road. Best
Thanks,
of luck.
Tommy.
All right. Thank you, Wimach. Good to meet you. Thanks to Cody, as always. We'll hear from Cody later on in our Coaches Roundtable as well. We're going to take a break, and again, we got a busy show, so we'll kind of mix up the order. We'll talk women's basketball next. Ashton Feldhaus and Jaidyn Schomp are here to talk about their exhibition coming up in 2 days at the University of Iowa. So that's coming up on the GSI podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Rolling on from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffon Sports Insider podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach, and as promised, talking Missouri Western women's basketball now as the defending MIAA champions getting ready to start a new era, a new chapter under first-year head coach Ashton Feldhaus. But it's kind of a mix of the old and new a little bit. Veteran from Derby, Kansas, Jaidyn Schomp, a junior this year, joining us on the program. Ladies, welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Ashton, starting with you, and then over to Jaidyn. It's here. I know it's unofficial, but man, it's Iowa. You put Iowa and women's basketball in the same sentence, draws a lot of excitement, and high-level exhibition coming up. Just how you guys feeling? You feel ready? How's it going?
We're ready to get there, so
Yeah.
I don't have to answer that question anymore because everyone's asked it, and we are excited, I think, obviously. But, we're just ready. We've talked about it for so long now because it was kind of our starting point. Mm-hmm. We had a scrimmage this past weekend, which was fun. Went to a Highland Community College. Right. Mm-hmm. But, we're ready because we're treating it just like a normal game. So we did a little bit of scout today is what we could. They're kind of just like us, new staff, new kind of have massive senior class exit. So new team, new staff, and same as us. But, we're excited. And, but what better way to start than a sold-out crowd at Iowa? So it'll be a blast.
Yeah, Iowa women's basketball has sold out their tickets for a second consecutive year. So certainly exciting for them, even though, yes, the coach and the big player, Caitlin Clark, no longer there. But, Jaidyn, talking of exhibitions, it's always kind of funny for D2s to know what to expect, especially from a fan standpoint. It's like, it doesn't count. It's kind of all in good fun and good faith and everything. But dang it, we went into a D1 that won 20-plus games last year and won. You're one of 6 players who are on the roster that did that. Knowing that, I mean, it goes up a notch when you're playing a Big Ten team, I'm sure. But what does that do for the confidence of this team being like, hey, we beat a D1 last year? Like, does that impact the mindset at all, especially for people who were on that team? Or?
I feel like it can a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like you just have to go in there not expecting. Obviously, we're expecting to play good, but like we're just out there to have fun, and we're out there to get to work on ourselves and have a good experience.
Yeah. Well, and it's like when the men went to Kentucky 2 years ago. That was on SEC Network, and this will be streamed on the Big Ten Network Plus, BTN Plus. So that'll be exciting to just put our program on the map in that way. Coach, still about 2 weeks until the first official game coming up November the 8th here in our city. Whether it's a scrimmage, exhibition, practice, what are these days all about for you? What are the most important things you're wanting to see in this time?
We're still teaching, and we're going to be teaching for a while, I think. We're still trying to fine-tune things. We won't probably hit stride till about January because, again, it's new people, new team, and our offense and really our defense. We're still in that learning phase. So we're still reviewing, still teaching. So right now it's just fine-tuning and getting the best that we can be before we obviously take on Iowa, but then really the next weekend. But our kids have been fantastic as far as grasping material, and we've kind of slowed down as far as putting in new things because they did so well early on. So, I start the season and I write it all out day by day, and we are a couple weeks ahead as far as where I thought we would be, which is great. So now we're just more fine-tuning and the little things. It's the details part that we're really focused on at this point.
Yeah. Jaidyn, want to hit the rewind button on your career a little bit. You're part of a team that, won a Central Region championship. You played a little bit in that year, sat out 22-23 with the ACL, and then I know you're, on the men. You were suiting up, you were practicing. You played one game. It was at Newman in your home state last year. That was a fun win, obviously. Helped seal the conference championship at that point. But I guess what has this whole journey been like for you in terms of just rehabbing, and how ready are you to see the floor this year?
It's definitely been a challenge, mostly mentally, I would say. The back-to-back ACL, you really can't really see it coming. So my teammates really helped me out mentally wise. But ready, I'm so ready. Like I'm just blessed to be able to play the game still, and I'm just blessed to be able to be on this team and on the squad, and I'm ready to get out there.
Yeah, one of 6 players, who stuck around after the change here, and again, you've been on a part of a lot of good teams, and I think in some ways, Coach and I have talked a lot about, what it might look like, how you're all shooters now, and how that changes things. I think it's different, but somewhat similar, right? You're used to a style of it's high flying, it's transition, it's sharing, it's shooting it, and leading the league in assist to turnover ratio. But in that same frame, what have been the big differences from a player standpoint, and how have you seen this team embrace what Coach and Kendall are telling you?
I think we're all really taking this shooting to heart. Like, we all are working on it, and all of us want to shoot it. All of us can shoot it. It's just awesome because it just really stretches the floor, and it's difficult to guard. So I think it's going to be really good.
Certainly. Well, looking at Iowa just on the surface level, again, we know they are going to have a packed arena. Carver Hawkeyes selling out all their tickets for the season. They have 2 players on their roster. First team preseason, all Big Ten. Of course, Coach, you've coached in some big environments. These players have played in some big environments. And it's kind of like your unofficial debut. I'm sure there's butterflies there for sure. And, it's a game that, it doesn't count. It's a lot for fun. But just in closing, it's been circled for a while. Just when we tip off on Wednesday, what are you hoping to see out of your team?
I think just the effort and energy piece. That's what we've talked about all week. Obviously, they lost Caitlin Clark, but they got Lucy Olson, who was 3rd in the country when it comes to scoring. So, again, I think I said it last time, they just kind of reloaded, which is fine. But it's the effort piece, the energy piece, and then there's some execution pieces that we're kind of looking to do ourselves. They're going to do some things that we just simply can't stop by stature, by athleticism, all the above, right? So, and we understand that as coaches, but you can always give the effort piece. You can always be a great teammate, and that's really our measure as far as we go to play. And then, you never know what happens at that point. So I already told you, we're scouting as much as we can with a new team, but trying to stop some things. We know their inside game is they're just dominant, and they always have been at Iowa. So, it's our first chance at, okay, how are we going to guard that? We're going to double team, when we go, how we go, and just not missing some of those cues. And if they score it on a double team, so what? You know what I'm saying? But it's how well can we execute what we've learned to this point.
Yep, it's 2 programs with first-year head coaches. It's the first competition against another team in the public eye for both of these teams. It's the Big Ten tournament champion against the MIAA regular season champion. So that alone, it's an interesting blend as we'll go to Carver Hawkeye Arena. 6:30 Central Time tip on Wednesday night. You'll hear it right here on the Varsity Network app, gogriffins.com/listen, or on subscriber-based BTN Plus. They will be streaming this game as well. That's the Big Ten Network's online streaming service. Coach Ashton Feldhaus and junior Jaidyn Schomp. Ladies, thank you again. We'll see you down there. Can't wait.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, appreciate it. There you go. Ashton Feldhaus and Jaidyn Schomp joining us on this part of the GSI podcast. We'll take a break. We'll stick with basketball for a little bit. We'll talk men's hoops with Coach Will Martin as they will tip off their season for real this Friday and Sunday in the D2 CCA Tip-Off Classic from Canyon, Texas. We discuss it next from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Continuing from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill as we're talking hoops on the Griffon Sports Insider podcast today. I'm Tommy Rezach. Yeah, by the end of this week, it's going to be November, and on the first day of November, Missouri Western men's basketball tips things off. Very exciting event, the D2 CCA Tip-Off Classic from Canyon, Texas, on the campus of West Texas A&M University from the First United Bank Center. Missouri Western taking on Lubbock Christian Friday at 1:30, St. Cloud State Sunday at 1:30. Here to talk about it in his 5th year as the head coach, Will Martin, and a first-year Griffin, a transfer from Division I Virginia Military Institute. He's a 6'2 junior guard, originally from Ridgeland, South Carolina. Devin Butler. Devin, welcome to the program.
Dev.
Yeah, love it. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it. Well, just like the ladies, guys, it's here, only we're tipping it off for real. I know you scrimmaged within the last week or so. Just how ready are you? Big trip ahead of us here.
Yeah, I think you get tired of going up against your teammates every day in practice.
Yeah.
Dev would attest to that. You want to put that pressure on somebody else. So I think that we're anxious just to play someone other than ourselves in practice every day and see where we're at. I think that the closed-door scrimmage was good for us to kind of just break down that film, and it's always good to kind of see your actions against someone else in practice. These guys know all of our plays and what we're doing, and so I think that it prepares you. Typically we have more than one exhibition, more than one scrimmage, and with being invited to this double exempt, which is a huge honor, obviously we weren't able to get multiple, so these guys are going to have to be ready to go. They're not going to have 2 or 3 dress rehearsals. They only had one, and they got to be ready to go this weekend.
Yeah. Devin, you're again joining us from VMI, Division I VMI. I remember the day you announced your commitment. Coach texted me, and he was very fired up, and for good reason. Playing every game the last 2 seasons over there, averaging 5.4 points, 2.4 rebounds per game. So you're starting at a D1 there, having some success. I know the team didn't probably have as much success as you would have liked, but when you were kind of looking for a new home, so to speak, what was it about Missouri Western and Coach Martin that appealed to you?
Well, it was just kind of the connections. So yeah. Coach Martin, I really connected with him on a spiritual level, so it was kind of easier to make that choice. Mm-hmm. And basketball-wise, I want to win a championship, so that was my main priority when picking a place, and he was kind of on the same wavelength, so it was easy decision.
Yeah, obviously you're far from home. I grew up on the East Coast, played on the East Coast. How are you finding life here in the Heartland so far?
I actually love it. It's chill, man.
Yeah.
Nothing really going on. Everybody can mind their business and work on themselves, so that's the biggest thing.
Devin Butler, one of 5 newcomers on the roster this year, and but Coach, we talk so much about transfers and things, but 9 seniors. I don't know if I've ever covered a team at this level that had that many seniors. So many of whom have played a lot and have been here a long time. Guys like Justin Bubach. I feel like I've known him forever. For those guys, what does this year mean to them?
Well, it's a huge testament to our program, and when I say that, not just men's basketball, but Missouri Western as a whole, our administration, everyone in this room right now, to have 9 seniors come back, especially in today's world of NIL and transfer portal. Yeah. Like you said, it's so rare, and so there's many reasons why that happens. The main thing is the connection that Dev's talking about that brought him here. We're a transparent and vulnerable group. We wear our heart on our sleeves. We love our kids deeply. We coach them hard. We tell them the truth. And so really excited to have a group of 9 seniors, a lot of which have come back and been in the program. But you have to leverage that. And we've talked about that a lot. You're not just going to have success because you have experience. You have to utilize that, and you have to lean into that, and you have to leverage that. And so I think that it is a competitive advantage, but we have to use it.
Certainly. Well, we'll see how the Missouri Western will use it in their season debut this weekend, taking on Lubbock Christian Friday at 1:30. That's a good test right out of the gate. They won 23 games, made the NCAA tournament last year. And then St. Cloud State, we know they played an outstanding NSIC conference. Remember, the national champion came out of the NSIC in women's and men's basketball last year, Minnesota State. They were 12-17 last year, but it's a regional opponent, and it's a team that's going to be hungry, and it's going to be people scouting against each other, not really knowing a whole lot because, yeah, it's a new season. So with that in mind, Coach, how much have you been able to scout these opponents?
Well, I started watching them this weekend, and I reached out to my staff, and I said, who the hell scheduled this team? I mean, good Lord, they won 23 games. They're going to be a top 10 preseason team. They should be. Mm-hmm. They've got 3 guys on their team that played in the Big 12. One played at Colorado, one played at Texas, one played at Texas Tech. They have a great coach. They run really good actions. And they lost last year on the court that we're playing at West Texas, so they're going to come in with a little bit of an edge. So all the narratives that you love to speak of in the media, like this game has it in terms of what that team is and what the expectations we have going in. Now for us, it's like we've been talking no finish line all year, so it's just another step in our journey. Our journey started back in August, and when we play, Lubbock, it's just another step, but it's going to be a tremendous test in terms of where we're at, and we're looking forward to it. The next game, St. Cloud, you try not to make everything a science, but in terms of scheduling, what I've learned, this is my 5th year as a head coach, 7th in this region, in this league. You want to set yourself up with good regional opponents to give yourself a chance for postseason play. And, I mean, I told you this, I'm a little bit of a nerd. Like, when I looked at the KPI, not to dwell on the past, but because of how well we played in the non-con last year and we had 2 regional wins, we were 2 wins away from making it to an NCAA tournament, even if we would have finished 7th or 8th in the league. So that's a big deal. Again, I don't want to dwell on that. We're present. But to be able to play St. Cloud and then turn around and play Northern and Augustana and the Hilliard, and then we go and we play Arc Tech, which is another regional opponent on the road, it's – I don't want to say it's good scheduling because they're tough opponents, but it's very intentional scheduling, and so you don't want to weigh one game any different than the others. But if you look at our schedule, we set it up in a way that's going to give us the best advantage to continue our season at the end of March. So
yeah, there'll be some fun trips for this team for sure. Some challenging ones at Maryville University on Saturday, November the 16th. Going to Arkansas Tech Friday, November the 22nd, and then a home game against William Jewell before opening conference play December 3rd. At Northwest. What a way to open conference play as well as they begin a new era in their men's basketball program. And Devin, I guess last thing for you is, making this transition from, D1 to D2, getting to know a new league, new region. I think you could attest that the level of play at this level is still really good, that there's so much talent in this league. But so with that in mind, just how excited are you to kind of learn some new opponents and kind of navigate the D2 landscape here?
I'm actually very excited. One of the biggest things that I've already noticed is there isn't really a difference in level. Like the name kind of says it all, but as far as competition, it's the same people. Like, you're going to go against some dogs. So I'm excited to kind of compete and show that, I've been preparing and working as hard as I can too. So I'm not really scared. I'm not going to back down. So that's really what I'm excited for.
Well, the first time I met this year's team, it's like I walked in the room. It's like I recognize half, but there's a lot of people I previously don't know, and you're kind of one of them. And I look forward to watching you, getting to know you guys. And, Coach, it's my 4th season covering your team. I can't wait. And we'll see you in Canyon. I can't wait to be down there and talk with you guys.
Did you get a flight?
I'm driving.
Oh, yes. Let's go. The real grind.
We'll see you there. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dev. Yeah, all right. There you go. Devin, Butler, Will Martin as we wrap up our basketball talk here on the GSI podcast. Yeah, give it up for those guys. Should be another fun year around here for sure. We'll take a break. We'll shift back to fall sports. We'll talk volleyball. Speaking of fun years, what a fun season for volleyball. 18-4 after a win against Jewell in Northwest this past week. Big road tests at Emporia and Washburn for volleyball this week. We talk about it with Coach Jessica Fye next on the GSI podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Continuing from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill, it's the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach, a packed show today as we talk volleyball now, as Missouri Western is now 18-4 overall, 8-2 in the league, and yes, ranked at long last. We talked about that a little bit last week, and guess they listened. This team now winners of 6 straight after sweeps against William Jewell on the road, and then at home against Northwest Missouri State on an alumni day on Saturday afternoon. Coach Jessica Fye is with us, and Yeah, Coach, what can you say? You win your non-conference finale. You've swept 3 opponents in a row. You beat a rival to stay unbeaten at home. I mean, just good times in this program right now.
Yeah, last week was a good week for us. I thought we just rose to the occasion, and the first time we played Northwest didn't go how we exactly wanted it to, and I think our team plays with the chip on their shoulder quite a bit. So I thought they did a good job kind of bouncing back after the unfortunate start.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the week started early for you again this past week, Tuesday night at William Jewell for a 6 o'clock match. And, you took care of business. That's one you were favored in, 25-17, 25-20, 25-18. Nessa Johnson, 32 assists, 15 digs to reach 1,000 digs in her career to go with her 3,000-plus assists and counting. The Griffins threw 23 blocks against William Jewell while hitting at a .311 percentage. And it's the error count, really, that these last few matches, you guys have been able to stay relatively error-free. While Jewell committed 24 errors, you just commit 8. Pretty good day at the office right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're playing well right now. Early on, you're going to be a little bit higher error in your season, and so we've just focused on that quite a bit, and we're playing pretty high level volleyball, and I think we've just settled in really well in these last few weeks, and just have to keep those errors low, keep being efficient. But we're at that point in the season to where we've trained pretty hard, and I think it's starting to show.
Well, it showed on Saturday for sure. Northwest Missouri State, a team that came in winners of 3 straight themselves, and that's a Northwest team before Saturday. They'd won 11 of the last 12 against us. That program's done great things the last 7 or so years, but now Missouri Western doing some great things. They got us in 5 earlier this month, did Northwest in Maryville, but getting the sweep and the first win over Northwest and St. Joe in volleyball since 2017, 25-15, 25-22, 25-18, and again, they commit 25 errors. You throw 13 blocks. Taylor Russell, 11 kills, and Anna Weberg, 24 digs, 65 digs in all. I know it's not the 140, 140 digs you had against them the last time, but great defensive effort. And you told me afterwards that a lot of times you kind of had them on the run, and therefore more errors committed by them.
Yeah, we served the ball really, really well. I think we only had 3 aces, but you kind of have to track it with how much they're off the net, and they were off the net a lot. Their biggest offensive threat is one of their middles, and so we were just able to prohibit her from getting the ball as much as they wanted to give it to her. And then their setter is a big threat in the front row too, so she didn't really have a lot of opportunities to kind of score and hold our block at all. So I think that was a huge game changer, and that's something I didn't think we did well the first time. And then we blocked the ball at a much higher level. That was something that was absent in our 5-set loss against them. And then they just we're efficient. I thought we played good volleyball and didn't make a ton of just bad mistakes. Like, all of our mistakes were pretty aggressive and, pretty relative.
Yeah, virtually never trailed in the first and third set after a pretty back-and-forth second, and the Griffins get the sweep. And, man, Taylor and Lily especially so fun to watch. And Lily Kurz was able to eclipse 300 career blocks in that match on Saturday, so congratulations to Lily on that. Well, still some wood to chop here in the regular season. 6 matches to go. And we got a big one on the docket. They're all big in this league, aren't they? At Washburn, Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Emporia State Thursday at 5:30. We beat Emporia in 4. We beat Washburn in 5. We've won 5 straight against the Ichabods. We've won 5 straight against the Hornets, but they are 4th and 5th in the league, Coach, right behind us. We're in 3rd place right now. You know it better than anybody. 2 big challenges right here.
Yeah, it's a big week. I think both those teams are playing really well right now. They're starting to find their footing. They just played each other, went 5 this last weekend with each other, so that was a telling game for us. But, yeah, I mean, obviously they're both going to want to get our number, and it's late in the season, so they're trying to make some moves to kind of jump teams, and we're one of those teams that they're probably going to want to try to jump. So, so we have a lot of prep to do this week, but we're playing well, and I think fortunately we play closer, so I'm kind of glad we're playing well, so we're going to be able to kind of roll right into it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Washburn, they've been in and out of the polls all year. They're receiving votes. Take that for what it's worth. They've won 3 straight, 7-3 in the league. And Emporia, they've got a new head coach, and they're very much improved. They're 14-6 right now. And that was 4 competitive sets when we saw them in St. Joseph, no question about it. Washburn Wednesday night at 6, Emporia State Thursday at 5:30. The Turnpike Tour for Missouri Western volleyball here this week. Coach, thanks for the time as always. safe travels. Best
Thank
of luck.
you. Appreciate it.
There you go. Jessica Fye joining us as we talk volleyball here on the GSI podcast. A lot of good things happening on campus right now. We got to talk soccer still, Coach, and then we'll get to you talking to Coach Fenwick. We'll talk with Jake Plucker next as we talk some soccer here. Still undefeated. The shutout streak is still alive and well, and Missouri Western enters this final week of the regular season atop the perch in the MIAA. We discuss it next. It's the GSI podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Continuing from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on a busy GSI podcast this Monday, I'm Tommy Rezach, and we're talking Missouri Western soccer now. 20th ranked Missouri Western soccer. Maybe bump that ranking up a couple notches. What do you say? As this team is still... I guess rankings don't matter, says Coach Cody Ingold. I guess it depends on who you talk to. Soccer 14-0-2 overall, 9-0-1 in the MIAA. So now Missouri Western, not only the only unbeaten overall, they're the only team with an unbeaten conference record after Sunday's results. Joining Coach Plucker is a junior defender from Bakersfield, California, Nicoletta Froelich. Nicoletta, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I know you had to work around class schedules to get here, so I appreciate it. Coach, it has been 737 minutes and 8 seconds of match time since this team has given up a goal, 8 straight shutouts. How do you put to words what this team is doing defensively right now?
But who's counting, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, the adage of, defense wins championships. We're playing really good, organized defense right now, and it's showing, and that's something that we take pride in, and something that we make sure we stress day in and day out, and it's coming, it's showing with the results and with, like you said, those stats that you just mentioned.
Yeah, Nicoletta, you're one of the defenders. You, Laura Nyland, Caitlin Rowland, really holding down the fort back there. Someone asked me the other day, why is this team so good? And defense was the first thing I said, in y'all's athleticism. As a defensive back line, what is practice like? What are meetings like for you guys? And what does set this group apart from such other good teams in the league?
Honestly, I just feel like the chemistry of our back line just works.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been working together for 3 years now, or at least my 3 years.
Sure.
And so I just feel like everyone's pretty athletic, but just how we play together and how we know how each other play really helps out.
Yeah. The 2 wins this week for Missouri Western were at home. The last 2 regular season home matches, a 1-0 win over Pitt State Friday. Now, Pitt State, Coach, that's a first-year program that they found some players. They are scrappy, they're athletic, and it took until the 75th minute for Sydney Hammett to break the tie. Just 1 shot on goal by Pitt, and again, goes back to defense and another game-winning goal. This team's gotten good at that. Thoughts from Friday night?
Yeah, again, you never know really what to expect with the first-year program, especially with kind of players coming in from everywhere. But again, it was nice to see our team come out and play our style, our brand for a good amount of time. We didn't panic when we weren't able to get a goal earlier on in the game, and just continued to press. I also think another reason why our back line is so strong is that day in and day out practicing against our attackers that have pace, and we've been able to score, has just helped our back line be that much stronger.
Well, it was another strong day for that back line on Sunday, honoring 6 seniors on a beautiful day for Senior Day, welcoming in Missouri Southern. This time the lone goal came in the first half. Rachel Benavides unassisted in the 41st minute. 29 shots, 14 of them on goal, so credit the Southern keeper for sure. She had a busy day. Coach, just back to you real quick. I mean, besides good keeper play, what do you attribute that to, getting so many shots but only 1 going in?
Yeah, I think it's one of those also, Missouri Southern's kind of – they're rebuilding a little bit.
Sure,
they've had some turnover, so
yep.
That can always make it a little challenging of how we show up and how we perform. Probably wasn't one of our cleanest performances. We were still able to create quite a few chances. Just having that composure and be a little more clinical in that final third. Hopefully, moving forward to score a few more goals. To give us a little bit more of a breathing room.
Yeah, Nicoletta, this is your 3rd year on campus, is that right?
Yes.
Well, we celebrate 6 seniors that they kind of withstood the test of time and the turnover. 3 head coaches in 4 years, and you've been a big part of these changes as well. To honor those 6 seniors like that, not only with a win on Sunday, but with what this team has put together in 2024, what do those 6 ladies mean to you?
It's just, out of all the senior days that we have had, this is the hardest because, we've had those 3 years with them, and so we've gotten lot closer with these 6 seniors, and it's just going to be a big loss to the team when they go.
Absolutely, but still lots of fun times ahead, I think, for this team in 2024, starting with 2 big regular season matches to end the regular season slate against Washburn on Friday and then Emporia State on Saturday. I want to make sure I have those start times right. Friday at 3 for Emporia, Sunday.
It's 2. It'll
it's
be 2
now.
Yep,
2.
sorry.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Yeah, so 2 o'clock Friday at Emporia State, 1 o'clock Sunday against 15th ranked Washburn, and these are 2 programs doing pretty well. Obviously, Washburn's kind of the headliner, right? They're in second place. They're a game back of Western in the conference standings, played for a national championship last year, and Washburn ended this team's season in the MIAA tournament by a single goal last year. And Emporia, they're 1 game back of being in the MIAA tournament field, Coach. So as much as it's tempting to look ahead, plenty to get up for and to play for here on Friday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah. No, Emporia is going to be a really big test. They have a new coaching staff. They have a lot of new players. Even formationally, they've switched it up a few different times this year. So, with them kind of competing, trying to get into the conference tournament, we know we're going to get their best, and we know we have to be ready to go. And I think also on our minds, hopefully, is, hey, if we come out and we take care of business, we at least secure that potential tie for the conference tournament, or conference title. So that would be nice as well. We obviously know that it's not going to be easy, and we have to go out and earn it.
Yeah, at least a share. That's what Missouri Western will be fighting for there on Friday, and then could be to the victor the spoils on Sunday in Topeka. Well, Nicoletta, Jake, I'll let you go. We got to get to football on the roundtable still, so appreciate the time. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Congratulations. What a great season that's unfolding before us. Go watch this team, follow this team, support this team. You won't be disappointed. We'll take a break. We'll talk football. Tyler Fenwick, fresh off of a bye week, but a busy week for Missouri Western football. Don't kid yourself as they get ready for a big test at home against Central Oklahoma on a Hall of Fame weekend. We discuss it next. It's the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Continuing from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill, it's the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach. Now time to talk Missouri Western football, who had a week off from competition, but still certainly a busy week of practice and preparation, getting ready to take on Central Oklahoma this Saturday at home at 2 o'clock for the Rogers Pharmacy Hall of Fame game. Coach, thanks for coming up. I know bye week can be weird, right? You have to sit on a loss from the week prior, and you're thinking about the next game. But in general, how productive was the week off from competition?
Well, first of all, this is stressful because I got to follow soccer.
Yeah, I know.
So big.
It's a tough act for anyone to follow right now.
It is. So, congrats to soccer.
Absolutely.
Bye week. Yeah. No, I mean it's it was a good week, and everybody says, oh, bye week. You get to rest a little bit, but there's a lot of things that we get to catch up on really as coaches. So we got into recruiting stuff. You get into doing some self-scout stuff and kind of seeing where you're good and where you haven't been good and what you need to improve on. We got a chance to take a look at some of our younger guys and get them some reps in our schemes, which was good to see. We worked some situational stuff at practice, some 2-minute drills and things like that with our guys that play on Saturdays and older guys. And then really the big goal was to get the guys that needed the rest to get the rest and recover and recharge and all that stuff. And so I think we went. Monday was the off day. We practiced on Tuesday. No practice Wednesday. Kind of a recovery day. Just a little bit of a lift. Practiced on Thursday. Practiced on Friday morning. And then that way they had all of Friday afternoon off and Saturday off to kind of get away and all that stuff. And I felt like we brought them back yesterday and got them back in the building and got into some meetings and some UCO stuff and then we had a little bit about an hour practice to kind of move them around a little bit. I thought it was good. I thought I felt like they were recharged and they're ready to attack the week.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice for those guys that have had to be in the trairing room maybe for extra treatment. Guys who are maybe a little sore, a little banged up. 8 straight games, yeah. It's a gauntlet, that is for sure. 3 games to go, all at home. They're all big. We know that, and we talk about things that that motivate the team. Whether it's like seniors or finishing strong or shaking the bad taste of a loss. Seems like this group through thick and thin. Whatever the record is, they've been very motivated, very competitive. What is the biggest things do you think motivating this team these last 3 games?
Well, I think just the fact that they want to go out and win.
Yes.
They want to put it together. They know how close we are.
Yes.
I mean, I think they see it. They see where the mistakes are, and if if the ball bounces this way, then we get a win. And if we, make this block, we get a win. And if we, and so they're seeing how close this team is, and they know we're good enough. And I think they just want to go out and prove it. And, we talk about, there's, when you lose games and you kind of go into a, kind of a little bit of a spiral that we've had this and the challenges that we've been through. It's, you try to tell them, like, look, you got two decisions. You can either give up, and just say, well, we're not going to win a national championship, or, you can, put your shoes back on and, get back out there and try to go win. And the first choice is kind of a loser mentality. And I don't think any of our kids have that mentality. And if we have guys that are kind of trying to figure out who they are, I think they quickly realize that, that's not who I am, and I want to go win. And it's all about, there's an opportunity to compete against somebody else, and no matter what happens, you always want to win. You always want to beat whoever it is that's you're competing against. And so that's how we look at it. We never really talk about an 11-game season. We talk about a 1-game season. We talk. This is the next game on the schedule, and we're going to find a way to win the next game. And at the end of it, if you can sit there and go to game 11 and you're sitting there going, you're 10-0, then it's like, okay, oh, look at that. You know what I mean? Let's not put it into perspective of we have to, we're going to go be 11-0, like, because that's, you can't worry about that stuff. That's 10 weeks down the road.
Trying to be 1-0 every day. That's the saying. It's cliche, but it's true.
It is, but
yeah. Well, it is Hall of Fame week, and an old friend coming back, right tackle Macon Allen, who played for Missouri Western from 2008 to 2012, going to be enshrined here this weekend. Made 50 consecutive starts. Part of that 2012 team that was put into the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. All-conference, all-region, all-American. A local guy from King City, and perhaps he was more of a Coach Throck pupil. But what are your memories of Macon Allen, and how excited are you to see him?
Yeah, I remember recruiting Macon, in that whole recruiting process. Macon will probably say more words at his Hall of Fame speech than he has in the 5 years that he was with us. He just was a quiet guy and just very matter of fact. And he'd kind of, Throck would coach him up on something. He'd look at him and kind of give him a nod, and he'd get it done. So, but yeah, just awesome kid. Just watching him develop. I think he started. I think he was a 4-year starter.
Yeah, 50 straight starts.
Just incredible. Just the patience he had as a technician was unbelievable. And you never worried about. You just never worried about that side.
Yeah.
He knew he had it taken care of. Great kid. It's awesome to see what he's doing, his family, and what he's doing now, and kids and all that stuff, so it's fun.
Yeah, Menley told me, so I interviewed him last week, and he warned me, he's going to be quiet. No, he was like one of the more talkative Hall of Fame interviews I did.
Yeah,
so.
I've heard he's actually a little bit but when he comes back and he's around those guys, I think Chili speaks for all the rest of them.
Chili?
Yeah. Brian Childs, yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think he speaks for all of them.
Nice. All right.
He's probably listening right now too.
Well, I appreciate it if that is the case. Well, let's talk about the opponent on Hall of Fame Day, Central Oklahoma. Yeah, not undefeated anymore, 7-1. What a game there in Chad Richardson Stadium Saturday, hosting Pittsburgh State. Pitt won it 35-21, so it's a virtual three-way tie atop this league with Emporia, Pitt, and UCO. But that's a battle of two good teams, and UCO is still a very good team, particularly on offense. 50 points, 560 yards a game. They're the number one rush team in the league. Defensively, Coach, they give up yards, they give up points, but kind of like us, they're opportunistic. They get after the quarterback, 23 sacks. They picked off 12 passes this year at surface level. You've had time to, I'm sure you watched that game, or at least parts of it, probably all of it. How do you beat UCO this week?
I don't know. There's
a hard question probably.
No, they're talented. They're talented on both sides of the ball, but I think not only are they talented, just from a personnel standpoint, but they do some things schematically that give you problems. They ran the ball well. They always run the ball well. They got two backs that are very big and strong and tough to tackle. But they're just they're coached really well, and I think Adam Dorrell's always been a really good offensive line coach. Even back in the Northwest days, they always ran the ball well. He's an O-line guy. And so then they'll find a way to boot and get out of the pocket, and so you got to be disciplined with all your assignments and making sure that your gap sound and all that stuff and eye discipline and all that. So that's going to be and then they mix in the RPO game along with it. and then all of a sudden they'll spread you out and they look like UCM where they sideline to sideline, and so you got to defend that aspect as well. So they do so many things that put you in conflict, and then defensively they've got guys all over the field. I mean, they play a lot of man, but they mix up coverages and they make everything look very similar. So you really never know what you're going to get until after the snap. So again, we've got to be able to make sure we communicate and see things and get on the same page with the quarterbacks and receivers. And they got big old dude up in the middle, that's just a big, strong, heavy, tough guy to move, and I think that he kind of anchors that D line. So yeah, that's why they're good. I think the other part of who they are is the fact that they've got a lot of guys. They got 9 and 11 returning starters. So they've played a lot of football together. They know the schemes. They know what they're doing. They got a lot of guys in their two deep that are guys that they recruited out of high school that they've developed. And now, you kind of see where, 3 years ago, they were, I don't know what their record was, but then last year they, got better. And then now this year they're, so they've developed their roster and that's why they're good.
Well, you think about Adam Dorrell's first game at UCO. He was shut out at Missouri Western to open the 22 season. That's a team that went 6-5. Then they were 5-6 last year, and now he's got it rolling in year 3 over there at 7-1. Of course, Adam Dorrell, a guy that needs no introduction around these parts, made his bones in football in the MIAA. So there you go. It's a good matchup for sure. It's an exciting one as Missouri Western will look to honor Macon Allen and the entire 2024 Missouri Western Athletics Hall of Fame class. Pre-game at 1, kickoff at 2. Coach, I'll be with Will in Texas. Kyle Schmidt will have you taken care of on Saturday. So I'll be watching. I'll be rooting for you guys, and best of luck this Saturday.
Where are you going? What are you doing?
Men's basketball.
Oh, it's basketball season already? Is that what we got going on now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach. We'll see you up here for the roundtable. Okay. And so, we'll wrap it up with our male coaches. Coach Plucker, Coach Martin, Coach Ingold, along with Tyler Fenwick, have agreed to do my Halloween-themed coaches panel to round this thing out. So we'll be back in a minute here from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the GSI Podcast. Okay, so we're back on the roundtable of irrelevancy. We got 3 familiar faces up here: Jake, Cody, Tyler, and Will Martin. I have been so excited for you to come on this segment. So thank you for doing this. Gentlemen, it's Halloween Thursday. People forget that. I'll just start it off kind of rapid fire here. Favorite costume you wore when you were young? What was it? Most memorable?
Man.
I was a football player for like 6 years straight.
Yeah, I was in an unfortunate situation. So I have a sister who's 2 years older. So when she wanted to be Beauty, I had to be the Beast. When she wanted to be Snow White, I had to be a dwarf. Like, really, really bad deal. So I have some trauma from Halloween time. Because whatever my sister wanted to be, I had to be like the sidekick.
Yeah, that's gonna be my wife is family, everything. So it's I'm Ash Ketchum from Pikachu this year. Or Pokemon this year. You know what that is, Tommy?
No, I know what Pokemon is.
Okay.
I don't know what that specific thing is.
It's the guy that throws the Pokeballs at the Pokemon.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
The main character.
He wears a hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
yeah.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Jake?
I would say probably either 49er football get up for many years because, like I said, I still am just
it's gotta
obsessed.
Be rough, huh?
I know, right? Or like a middle child. So we did kind of like a Ninja Turtle thing back in the day when I think my mom made the costume. So
was Jordan Mason actually hurt last night?
He apparently re-injured his shoulder. So
killed me in fantasy, man. Killed me in fantasy.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Still won it. Still won the game.
Exactly.
I guess in that same vein, what was like maybe the most embarrassing or the worst costume your parents made you wear? Any memories there?
Anything homemade.
Yeah.
They were always like, look at pictures.
I was a clown way too many times as a kid. I'll say that much.
The best part.
It makes sense now, Tommy.
Over the weekend, we have some friends that have twins that are like 11, 12 years. I don't know if they're 11 or 12 years old, but they so they're twins, but they dress them up as the Dumb and Dumber characters.
Oh, that's funny.
Where they wear the tuxedo, the blue and the orange tuxedo with the cane.
Yep.
It was classic. It was awesome to see.
And the kids probably have no idea what.
Yeah, right. I know.
Well, I mean this like in the best way possible. Like I don't know how you do this, but like Prince Charming from Shrek. Like I don't know what you would wear exactly.
Oh, whoa!
Like, you got that hair. Like I mean,
I thought you were gonna say that me and Weston Smith just live out Dumb and Dumber every day.
No,
we don't even have to go into costume. I think that's more accurate than Prince Charming. I don't know.
Yeah, I value my position a little too much to go that far with you. Best Halloween candy. What is it?
Right now, those nerd clusters.
Yeah,
Those are good.
clusters.
They got them
are-
individually packaged
level.
now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mike Leach was a fan. Rest in power. Yeah. How about you guys?
I'm always, a chocolate guy. I mean, just
Yeah.
anything that's chocolate, some kind of chocolate candy bar, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You said you were picky
I don't
last week, so I wasn't sure. Yeah.
I'm picky with food.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
candy's
candy
probably
is
different.
food.
Well,
It is a
no,
food
but I
group.
mean, like real food.
Ask my son. Ask Madeline Simmons
I'm
how
on a-
much candy my son eats.
I'm on a
It's
Reese's peanut butter cups kick right now. I figure that's got some protein in it, right?
Candy corn, yes or no?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Great
Heck
question.
yes.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
Yes?
Yep.
Yes.
I like
You would be the
No,
guy.
I do enjoy candy corn. I do.
Okay. You're
Now,
just saying
I don't
that so you don't get
understand-
punched?
No. I enjoy candy
I don't know if you
corn.
could find another group of 5 Americans that would all agree that candy corn
Yeah,
is good.
candy
That's-
corn's good.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's
I
not
came
my
home-
go-to, but like, hey, if it's there, yeah, I'll grab a handful and,
And then keep eating it
Yeah,
and then not stop
yeah.
eating it.
We have a bowl of it, and there's peanuts in it. Like
Why?
peanuts.
Okay. To the
I'm not-
salt and the sweet.
I don't know.
Is it
You
the salt and
never
the
mix
sweet?
business and pleasure. You don't put fruit and beer. You don't put nuts and cookies in brownies and stuff.
Time.
Hey, no.
Fruit, lime in a Corona,
No,
orange in a blue moon.
Tommy, I don't drink. I was just saying that
okay.
you shouldn't put fruit and beer.
Well, I feel very passionately about that. In case
You
couldn't
don't put
tell.
fruit and beer. You don't mix business and pleasure, man.
Boulevard wheat without a lemon is just like fizzy water. Like, I mean, I gotta tell you. Last thing, I guess Halloween is a time when people like to prank each other. You know, they TP stuff. I've seen forks in the yard. Best prank that you pulled on someone, or that someone pulled on you.
All right, so one of our friends, his dad was the mayor and then like judge, very family ties of the city, and they were gone on a camping trip. But we went and we were TPing their house, and sure enough, a police officer came by. We saw the light, so then we hid in one of their sheds, and the mom was still there. We're just, hey, just so you know, we're doing this, and she came out and she started helping us, because then she's like, he'll clean it all up in the morning. So we went and did that. That was kind of fun.
Fantastic. Cody, I mean, I know you got.
I don't know that mine are
The gears are
podcast. I'm working through things that I want to share publicly. I was on the bad end of the old trash can against the dorm room with water in it one, where they lean against, they knock and you open it, and that's what started the prank war in college. And
Oh, man.
I don't like just ease up. I just go straight to the top, like the worst of the worst. I try to end things as quickly as possible, and they were ended by noon that day. So.
Nothing surprising out of that statement. Coaches, anything come to mind there?
I don't know. Halloween's during football season.
That's true.
I don't really have. I don't know. I don't have a lot of.
Your Dodgers are in the World Series?
They are in the World Series,
Yeah.
and I did actually turned it on the other day, and they hit a grand slam to win the game. That was pretty cool.
That was.
Yeah.
Freddie. That was awesome. Freddie Freeman. Yeah. Coach Martin, pranks, receiving end, giving end?
No, I think me and some friends TP'd a house once in middle school, and my parents made me go and not only clean it up, but offer to do landscaping at that person's house for like the entire next summer. So I learned my lesson. No pranks on Halloween.
Yeah. Well, Halloween's going to be busy for you. You'll be on a flight to Texas. Volleyball will be playing Emporia on Halloween night. But, coaches, thank you. That was fun. Happy Halloween, and good luck in competition this week. Thanks for coming up here.
Thank you.
There you go. That'll wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Cole Weiberg on the camera, Rick Leahy, our audio engineer, and our great hosts here at Hi-Ho Bar and Grill, and all of our coaches and athletes, fans, supporters, staff members. Thanks for coming and putting up with me for an hour and change today. Great show. We'll be back next Monday. It'll be November, where we'll talk about basketball and we'll talk about more fall sports. And, it's Hall of Fame weekend. Go out, support football as they're at home Saturday at 2. Good luck to basketball, volleyball, soccer, all traveling. Good luck to women's golf today and tomorrow. This has been the GSI Podcast. Subscribe to the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you podcast. See you next week. So long.